Skip is just an incredible human being. He's battled a whole lot of things. He's overcome serious injuries. He's been a competitive gymnast. He's been suffered illness, a family breakup, obesity, and more. And the UK top health and lifestyle guru Skip Archimedes will be the guest speaker at Real Success South Africa, which take place on the 14th and the 15th September at Gallagher Estate. He joins us via Zoom. Welcome, Skip. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, Clarence. It's a pleasure to be here.
Skip, is this about the power of the mind that we undermine far too often?
It goes beyond that. We have to understand this. I just did an event last night. We're actually doing some free events. We've got another one on Thursday that we're giving these teachings away. And what it does is, if we go to the mind now, Clarence, we're kind of screwed, because what we know is 90% of most people's thoughts in the modern world are negative. And there's studies out there that prove this. So we can't go to the mind for the solution. So we have to understand how the game of life is set up and what we can start to plug into as resources to be able to use. Now, we're a mind, a body, and a spirit. Now, the science that's out there, that if we touch our body, that's actually 0.0000001% of what we truly are. The other 99.9999999% of what we are is energy, frequencies, and vibrations. Now, without freaking people out and having everyone go like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Imagine our phones. We've all got smartphones now. And imagine that you can touch the smartphone, but that resembles the body and the mind, something physical. But when we plug in a 3G, 4G, 5G Wi-Fi to be able to access more information, what is that? It's a frequency. So just like we're on a radio station now, wherever we go, Clarence, we're tuning into a certain frequency, and depending on what frequency we tune into will depend on what we receive. Like on a radio, to get to this radio station, we have to tune it with a certain frequency. If we don't tune in that frequency, we can do all the rain dances, we can be as motivational as we want, we can learn anything we want. We're never going to receive according to the radio station if we're not tuned in at the frequency. Now, most people are what I call are tuned into a dead frequency or a fear frequency. Then some people start to evolve and live more of a balanced life, and that we call the balance frequency. Where we take people through our teachings is what we call the supercharged frequency, and it's in that frequency we start receiving insights, inspiration, what we're supposed to be doing, so we actually live out our purpose instead of dumping all this information in our minds where we're now drowning in information, but the truth is we're starving of wisdom. So yeah, there's way more to plug into than just the mind. I kind of went off on one there, but I don't know, I hope that made sense.
It did to me. It did to me. It's the kind of stuff that I ponder. I'd like to know what the innate condition of the mind is, though.
Well, we have to understand that when we're born as babies, there's nothing in the mind. So what we absorb through our upbringing, through our education system, through our families, through our friends, through our communities, what that does is it starts to program us. And what happens is we've got two parts of the mind: the conscious mind, like we're awake now, we're conscious. The subconscious part of the brain, which they're saying is now about 50,000 times stronger than the conscious mind. As soon as we do something on repeat again and again and again and again and again, it goes into the subconscious part of the mind, and then it plays out as a program. So the subconscious mind doesn't care what's in there, and that's why we get some people doing horrible things in life. That's why we get some amazing things in life. It comes down to how we choose to get programmed. Now, we're receiving information all the time, and if we start receiving toxic stuff, guess what? If we get a toxic mind, that's going to play out throughout the body. And we know that the mind can make us rich, the mind can make us poor. The mind can make us well, the mind can make us ill. The mind can make us happy, the mind can make us sad. So what we've got to do with the mind is focus the mind into the next best version of who we want to be. And if we keep learning how to become more, we keep discovering more parts of who we are in this game of life, instead of sacrificing parts of ourselves, because that's old. We don't want to sacrifice anything. We want to discover more. And how do we do that? We have to learn how to fill our cup up so it's filled up all the way up to the top. Then everything that overspills, we go and give that away to friends, family, loved ones, communities, whatever, businesses. Now, the challenge is most people don't know how to fill their cup up truly as adults. I mean, let's think about it. You just mentioned like children earlier. Well, there's no bad children. Let's take children around about 4 years old. Do they have more energy than most adults, Clarence?
Yes.
Yeah, do they move their bodies naturally more than most adults?
Absolutely, they're contortionists.
Do they learn faster compared to most adults?
I would say so.
Yep. Do they speak the truth more than most adults?
Absolutely.
Do they have a lot more natural happy joy and happiness just pulsing through them?
Absolutely. Isn't that the innate mind?
So who taught that? No one. So now here's a super cool thing about what we're living in, Clarence. There's an intelligence that most of us aren't plugging into, but this intelligence is keeping our heart beating. This intelligence is allowing our body to breathe. That intelligence is giving us 50,000 new cells every 3 seconds, and our bodies are made of trillions of cells. So in a year from now, most of the cells in our body are brand new cells. So we're regenerating all the time. The challenge is, if we don't keep learning how to become more and better people, then all of a sudden we can have our minds and this intelligence turn against us. So we've got to get people back in the driving seat. And that's why I've come over from the UK to give away some of these events. We've actually got one more tomorrow night on Wednesday. So if people want to come, I can give them a link and they can come completely for free if you'd like me to share that link with them.
Absolutely, and maybe some more time if you have as well. I'd like to continue this conversation for a moment longer. How do we unlearn all of this kind of stuff, and how do we move into that supercharged energy space where the resonance, the frequency, and the vibration can bring us to healing in much the same way, and success in much the same way, Skip Archimedes?
The answer is it's not just about success, because I coach like celebrities, world famous CEOs,
yes,
world champion athletes, and usually when they come, they've achieved a high level of success, but they've lost themselves in the process. So success without fulfillment.
So give me the word, really, fulfillment. Is that the word that I'm looking for?
Yeah, we want to be fulfilled.
I
we
like
want to be
that.
fulfilled.
So it's not
we
success.
want to be fulfilled in the moment.
Skip, the doctors wrote you off. Miraculous. You are called the miracle man, and yeah, you employed, well, what you're sharing with us, to overcome adversity in its worst forms. How do you stand? Where do you stand on modern medicine and their ability to cure all of us?
Well, here's what we need to understand, that what the truth of the fact is that we have the ability within us, within our bodies, by tuning into this intelligence, to create, and placebo effects have proven this, to be able to create any chemical that's needed for any single symptom that the humans take on. So what we're now seeing is, in America, there are studies done that the third leading cause of death in America is the correctly prescribed medication. So if people are taking it, they have to be careful, and they definitely have to look at the side effects that are written in that medication. You know, that's what they want to do. You know, they want to be responsible for that. The challenge with that system is the system doesn't really look at people's lifestyle. It doesn't really look at people's beliefs. It doesn't really look at the person. And when it comes to healing, we have to really understand what is that specific person going through, because you can have two people have exactly the same experience in life, and one person could be in ecstasy and then the other person could be in hell. Like, think about it. Like, life's a roller coaster ride. You could have two people sat next to each other on a roller coaster. It could be, the child could be having the time of its life and screaming, "Oh my God, I love it. This is the best." And then the parent could be screaming, "Oh my God, I'm in hell. I think I want to kill, I think I want to die." Because there is no meaning to life until we give it the meaning. So what happens is, we've got to understand this intelligence that we live in. Now, if we don't get in control of the mind, because what we now know is people aren't dying of the diseases, they're dying of the diagnosis of the disease. So what happens, they go and get diagnosed with something, and can certain lifestyle, and by changing the lifestyle and start moving the body more, cleaning up the diet, cleaning up the mind, cleaning up toxicity that is in that person's life, can that stuff start to help the body regenerate? Of course, common sense says yes. But what we're doing is, people are starting to rely on certain pills, where what they should be doing is really plugging into a lifestyle that serves them. And that's what we love teaching people. It's a lifestyle. It's not a quick fix. It's not anything but understanding what we do from when we wake up in the morning until we go to sleep at night. Are we living a life that brings in strength, balance, flexibility, immunity, energy, or are we living a life that's taking those things away? And if we are living a life that's taking those things away, it's only a matter of time before that body and mind starts to go through some serious breakdowns. And what we specialize in is showing people how to have these breakthroughs and giving them these lifestyle hacks where they can start to make these baby steps. Some people make huge, giant leaps. And what we've seen at our events is, we've had people come we had a lady on one of my retreats. She was born not being able to hear, and now she has perfect hearing in both ears. And she got told by the medical industry in her 40s that they couldn't do anything to help her, and they couldn't give her any more operations. She had 6 operations to try and hear again, and they said you can't have any hearing aids fitted. Came on our staff, went through the processes, started to adopt the lifestyle that we teach, and still, I think 7 years on, she's still got perfect hearing in both ears.
Okay.
So think about that. Your body's regenerating all the time. So if you cut yourself, what do you have to do to heal? Nothing. Your body heals it. So most of the time, we actually have to get out of the way, but to make sure that we are living a lifestyle. And how do we do that? If people want to go to superchargesa.com, they can register for free for an event that we're doing on Wednesday evening. So it's superchargesa.com. They can come, they can meet people in our environment, they can meet people who've transformed, they can see celebrities, world champion athletes, world famous CEOs who've gone through this stuff and said, listen, it's almost like we've forgotten how to live in the 21st century. So we have to look at our lifestyle and our beliefs.
Yeah, and the mind is trapped. The mind is paralyzed within that fearful kind of existence that you speak about. You say you are actually able to unlearn that mindset and come into a higher mind.
100%. Yeah. So what we've got in our minds, we've got something called neuroplasticity. And what it means is that if somebody has an interest to learn something, we can learn at any age. Now, what we should be doing is we should be learning every single day. The challenge that's happening at the moment is we're absorbing this information and it's making us number and number and number instead of us actually getting us activated. When we get activated, that's when we go into these high frequencies where we start receiving different information and we start to move naturally. We start to naturally be happy. We start to explore naturally. We start to want to go and learn something more. Those are natural inbuilt things within the human system, but we all know that our mind can turn against us and this intelligence can turn against us simply because of toxic lifestyles. So we have to really want to change, because if we don't want to change, then guess what's going to play out? The negative programs from the past, because everything in the mind comes from the past. There was nothing in the mind when we first began. So without freaking people out, let me give people something to think about. When our mum and dad got together and we were conceived, we were born, can a brand new baby raise itself on planet Earth? We all know the answer is no, because it has to be fed, it has to be, loved, it has to be cleaned. So if that can't happen, how do you have the first baby on planet Earth? You can't. You can't do it through evolution. There's an intelligence that's created us. So it's just like plugging our phones into Wi-Fi where we can upload and download stuff. We can go and access more information. We've got to learn how to access more of this information as human beings to be able to literally start receiving what we should be receiving to contribute to life. We all have the ability to make life better because we're here. And what people don't realize is that we always have a choice. And if we realize that, we start making empowering choices to make our life better, then bit by bit by bit, we start to make these changes. And then a year from now, we can be completely different people and transformed in ways where most people don't believe in. And we are here to make the impossible possible.
You're not selling snake oil. You're not selling miracles. You're saying it is up to you to change your mind. And there's liberation that comes from changing the mind, essentially. Maybe just how do we contact you? How do we find out more about what you do? Is there a place to go to? Is there a website?
Yeah, so if they go to Supercharge SA for South Africa or skip Archimedes, so superchargesa.com, they can go there and they can register totally for free. And they can come and they can experience what this is all about, because, while we're talking here, it's just words. Whereas what people need to have is an experience. When they have an experience, then they're going to take an action step forward in their life. What we need to do is to start to create momentum. Now, momentum in the beginning is slow. It's like, pushing like children on a merry-go-round. It's hard to get it going, but when you get it going, then you can just quickly push it just to keep it going and keep it going. So what we've got to do is be 100% responsible for our thoughts, our actions, our emotions, and allow stuff to come out of us that serves us in the moment, serves the people around us, and serves the greater good. When we plug into that type of lifestyle, we love waking up every single day instead of waking up in the morning and then thinking about all the problems and all the challenges that we have in life. Life is going to hit us with challenges. And what I've learned is the greater the challenge, the greater the blessing that's waiting for us. I mean, think about this for common sense.
And you're saying the mind can overcome any challenge, and we can live beyond 100 and improve on that journey beyond 100.
100%, and be fully active well over 100%.